his country. And this poet saves his life because of this poem. Seven Steps Verse by Saozi. People burned the beanstalk to boil beans, filtering them to extract juice. The beanstalk was burned under a cauldron, and the beans in the cauldron wailed. We were originally grown from the same root. Why should we hound each other with such impatience?
Thank you, Zunu, for that poem, which was originally from China. We now have Ada performing a poem that was also originally from a different language, being Hebrew. She'll be performing I Don't Have. So, without further ado, Ada. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ada, and I will perform a poem in Hebrew by Nathan Zach called I Don't Have. He moved to Israel, he immigrated to Israel when he was about 6 years old and fought in the War of Independence. He won many prizes for his writing, the Bialik Prize and Israel Prize and many more. אין לי כמעט כלום, אבל הכלום הזה הוא שלי. בשעות הפנויות לחלום, אתה יכול לחלום איתי. ואז אתה בא בחלום, ואני אז כמעט קרובה. במקום אשר אין במקום, הייתי יכולה להיות איתך. ועוד לא אמרתי הכל, ועוד לא אמרתי דבר. על גוף כמו קודח מחום, אתה עובר כמו רוח קרה. אין לי כמעט כלום, אבל הכלום הזה הוא שלי. בשעות הפנויות לחלום, אתה יכול לחלום איתי. ואז אתה בא בחלום, ואני אז כמעט קרובה. במקום אשר אין במקום, הייתי יכולה להיות איתך. ועוד לא אמרתי הכל, עוד לא אמרתי דבר. על גוף כמו קודח מחום, אתה עובר כמו רוח קרה. בשעות הפנויות לחלום, אתה יכול לחלום איתי, אתה יכול לחלום איתי. Thank you.
That was a very deep emotional poem that would make us all probably think reflectively on our lives. We now have Soo-in performing a piece which is originally in Korean, which she now
Good evening, I'm Soo-in John from grade 10. The poem I'm going to recite today is a famous poem in Korea. To briefly summarize the poem, it is about wanting to be a meaningful and unforgettable person to family, friends, or even someone you like or love. The poem describes being meaningful as a flower, which is 꽃 in Korean. 꽃, 김춘수. 내가 그의 이름을 불러주기 전에는 그는 다만 하나의 몸짓에 지나지 않았다. 내가 그의 이름을 불러주었을 때 그는 나에게로 와서 꽃이 되었다. 내가 그의 이름을 불러준 것처럼 나의 이 빛깔과 향기에 알맞은 누가 나의 이름을 불러다오. 그에게로 가서 나도 그의 꽃이 되고 싶다. 우리들은 모두 무엇이 되고 싶다. 너는 나에게, 나는 너에게 잊혀지지 않는 하나의 눈짓이 되고 싶다. Thank you.
Now, since we are open to all performers this evening at the Poetry Cafe, we'll be welcoming Panthers on stage. Yeah.
Good evening. I will be reading a poem that is called To This Day by Shane Koijan. and I will be shortening the poem a little bit, and I've also made it a little bit more appropriate for younger audiences. Oh, I'm sorry, this is anti-bullying. When I was a kid, I used to think pork chops and karate chops were the same thing. I thought they were both pork chops. And because my grandmother thought it was cute, she let me keep doing it. Not really a big deal. One day, before I realized fat kids are not designed to climb trees, I fell out of a tree and bruised the right side of my body. But I didn't want to tell my grandmother about it because I was afraid I'd get in trouble for playing somewhere that I shouldn't have been. A few days later, the gym teacher noticed the bruise, and I got sent to the principal's office. From there, I was sent to another small room with a really nice who asked me all kinds of questions about my life at home. I saw no reason to lie. As far as I was concerned, life was pretty good. I told her, whenever I'm sad, my grandmother gives me karate chops. This led to a full-scale investigation, and I was removed from the house for 3 days, until they finally decided to ask how I got the bruises. News of this silly little story spread through the school, and I earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops. I'm not the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called, and we got called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever, that we'd never meet someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in their tool shed. So broken heartstrings bled the blues as we tried to empty ourselves, so we would feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone. That's an ingrown life. It's something surgeons can cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize. It does. She was 8 years old, our first day of grade 3, when she got called ugly. We both got moved to the back of the class so we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs. But the school halls were a battleground where we found ourselves snug-numbered day after wretched day. We used to stay inside for recess, because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse running away or learn to stay still like statues. Grade 5, they taped a sign to her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she doesn't think she's beautiful because of a birthmark that takes up a little less than half of her face. Kids used to say she looks like a wrong answer that someone tried to erase but couldn't quite get the job done. And they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom, because they see her heart before they see her skin, because she's always been amazing. We weren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are still being called names. The classics were, "Hey stupid, hey spaz." Seems like every school has an arsenal of names getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks in school and no one around chooses to hear, do they make a sound? Or are they just background noise? Or of a soundtrack stuck on repeat? When people say things like, kids can be cruel, to them, we were freaks. Lobster claw boys and bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitaire, spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal. But at night, while the others slept, we kept walking the tightrope. It was practice, yes, and some of us fell, but I want to tell them that all of this is just debris. Bring bruises and broken teeth to show and tell, but never told, because how can you hold your ground if everyone around you wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe that they were wrong. They have to be wrong. Why else would we still be here? We grew up learning to cheer the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We stem from a root planted in the belief that we are not what we are called. We are not abandoned cars stalled out and sitting empty on highway. And if in some way we are, don't worry. We only got out to walk and get gas. We are graduating members of the class of screw you, we made it. Not the faded echoes of voices crying out. Names will never hurt me. Of course, they did. But our lives will only, ever always, continue to be a balancing act that has less to do with pain and more to do with beauty. Thank you.
is Uliana. Poetry can be graceful too. Our next performance is Madame, performing a piece written in French, which will be translated by Uliana. This poet is one of the greatest poets of the 19th century. So without further ado,
This is a great French poet. I think I can speak very loud. So his name is Jacques Prévert. It was written in the 60s of last century. The poem is kindly translated by Uliana. Je suis allée au marché aux oiseaux et j'ai acheté des oiseaux pour toi, mon amour. Je suis allée au marché aux fleurs et j'ai acheté des fleurs pour toi, mon amour. Et je suis allée au marché à la ferraille et j'ai acheté des chaînes, de lourdes chaînes, pour toi, mon amour. Et puis, je suis allée au marché aux esclaves et je t'ai cherché, mais je ne t'ai pas trouvé, mon amour.
French is definitely the language of love, and this poem, of course, is about love. It's called For You, My Love. I went to the bird market, and I for you, my love. I went to the market of flowers, for you, my love. I went to the general market, and I bought some chains, heavy chains, for you, my love. And I went to the slave market, and I searched, but I have not found you, my love. Next up, we have Miss Marina Novikova, who you actually know that she both writes her own poetry and she also professionally translates poetry. So the first piece she will present in two pieces. The first one is called No Thank You by Shel Silverstein. Please
This is my helper because I need him to help me do the first poem. So the first one was written by Shel Silverstein, and he's a very famous poet. He passed away in 1999, and his poems are very funny, and you can have his books in our school library. Now, just a few words about translating poetry. It's actually a very interesting occupation, but very difficult as well, because the person who translates becomes a co-author of the poem. And when you translate poetry, you have to think about what are like essential things to give the feeling that the author put in this poem, what things you will have to sacrifice, because some things cannot be translated. And also think about how you preserve the form of the poem. Okay? So let's say, just a little example. Let's say in this poem, there is a word bat, which is the baseball bat. But look what, in English it's just one syllable, bat. And in Russian it will be летучая мышь, which will not fit in any size. So then please remember that. So the first poem is about no, thank you. Right. So this is not my piece, this is Shel Silverstein first, and I will do Russian translation. No, I do not want a kitten. No cute cuddly kitty poo. No more long hair in my cornflakes. No more midnight meowing mews. No more scratching, snarling, spitters. No more sofas clawed to shreds. No more smell of kitty litter. No more mouses in my bed. No, I will not take that kitten. I've had lice and I've had fleas. I've been scratched and sprayed and bitten. I've developed allergies. If you've got an ape, I'll take him. If you have a lion, that's fine. If you brought some walking bacon, leave him here. I'll treat him right, kind. I have room for mice and gerbils. I have beds for boars and bats. But please, please take away that kitten, quick, or it becomes a cat. Well, it's kind of cute at that. So if you notice, then every line began with no. So then the author, the translator has to preserve this, because that's the important part. So every line begins with what word?
No.
Нет. In Russian. Okay. Нет, котенка мне не надо. Нет мурлышке и пушку. Нет полночным серенадам. Нет кошачьему горшку. Нет диваном рваным в клочья. Нет задушенным мышам. Нет кошачьей шерсти в хлопьях. Нет царапкам и клыкам. Нет, котенок мне не нужен. Был блохастый, вшит я был помечен и укушен, аллергию получил. Есть горя, оставляйте. Есть голодный лев, возьму. Есть бекон ходячий, дайте, буду очень добр к нему. Я бы нянчил носорога, крокодилов разводил, но котенка, ради бога, заберите. Я ж просил. Впрочем, этот очень мил. So this is like classical poem by Henry Longfellow. Longfellow actually lived about 200 years ago. And I like this poem. It's called The Arrow and the Song. Okay. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew that the sight couldn't follow it in its flight. I breathed the song into the air. It fell to earth. I knew not where, for who has sight so keen and strong